Right. In which case, I think we can just fucking go for it, can't we?
We'll just start recording my birthday podcast.
Happy birthday to Phil. Phil. Happy birthday to Phil. Phil. Happy birthday, dear Philip, who's older than me, not by a lot, but just happy birthday to Phil.
Welcome to the Conquistabores. Tonight, for the first time ever, the Conquistabores go back to back WCW as they enter the War Games 1992. Entering the cage tonight, the P-Man Cameron Phillips, the Enforcer, Phil Doyle. Only tonight on the Conquistabores.
Right, a couple of points. Number one, having one person sing happy birthday, that's
But the effort counts.
not ideal. Number two, do we have to point out I'm the oldest? The elder statesman, as it were, of the podcast?
Well,
Do we have to?
It's not like a big, massive gap.
Yeah, but, just pointing out I'm closer to death.
Because what, Al's September? So
I always thought Al was being, ageless. You know what I mean?
Well, he as an entity,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. But he, as his...
Like Silent Bob, he just existed throughout time.
Well, yeah, but his physical form
This physical form.
does age.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Matt Hardy in that he has the vessel. or the can of Rune Man.
He speaks Geordie instead of the broken...
He speaks instead of that kind of South African English thing that Matt Hardy does.
Delete!
Delete! Yeah, delete man!
That's the one. That's it.
Yeah.
Get it on the t-shirt. Write that down.
Delete man! Spooky man! Spooky man!
Fucking
Delete!
the time is all deleted. Fucking the time is deleted.
Delete man!
Why isn't he here? Come on, this is gold.
I don't know why he's not here. He kind of...
I'll tell you why he's not there. Because he's deleting the fog.
Probably.
He's out eating it or something.
God, can you imagine? I just imagine Al coming to work with a big white streak through his hair.
Halloween, come on. Halloween, surely.
Fallen in the, he's got to be. Having fallen in getting out of the bath or something, and just cracking his heat off the side of it. And
Can I just have a very quick sidebar Halloween story from work this week?
Go on.
We've got a little social board up on our wall at work, these things, upcoming events and social things. There's a summer quiz that I'm doing. There's a Christmas party and those kind of things. But for October, we do Halloween dress up, and on there to kind of illustrate that it's Halloween, we made a picture of Grot Bikes. Grot Bikes Paul Grot, who sadly died this week.
Yeah.
So someone said, we can't have we took the picture of Grot Bikes down off the board because, quote, you can't have people dressing up as a dead person for Halloween.
You can't dress up as a dead person for Halloween.
Yeah, that really narrows down the choices.
That really does narrow down everything.
You've got... No, they're all dead. All the Halloween people are dead.
Yeah. I mean, right. I'm trying to run through some really obvious Halloween costumes. You can't dress up as vampire.
Technically Frankenstein's alive. Is he alive?
Yeah, I was going through my head actually. Frankenstein is technically
alive,
given life, but was dead. I suppose, but there was different. He was lots of different dead people.
He's lots of different lives.
So, he becomes one alive. But is that truly a life?
This seems weird because I didn't mean this to be a segue, but discussing things that should be dead but are somehow alive kind of brings me towards WCW. I don't know why. You know what I mean?
Well, this is...
it should be dead. It should be dead. And it's obviously dead now, but back then it should have been dead. But somehow...
Yeah, we're on a continual mission to find decent WCW. And I mean, as was said when I sort of made this choice at the last episode, after we did the Lethal Lottery Battle Bowl, was they seem to be the unofficial rule of one should never go back-to-back WCW.
We've never gone back-to-back WCW.
Never gone back-to-back WCW. Yet here we are.
Here we are. Contemplating that very dark alleyway.
The main reason I wanted to do this one, because we will find decent WCW, and I think
There's got to be one out there.
There's probably a few, but we haven't found any yet.
Well, what I feel like, coming to this podcast is like, you and me, we've been out to the pub, had a drink, we had a drink in a pub somewhere, we've kind of gone out, and you've gone, hey Phil, I know the shortcut somewhere. And we've gone down the shortcut, and we've been both beaten up and mugged, left bleeding on the floor. Drag ourselves to our feet, walk down out the alleyway, and then you go, oh Phil, I got an idea, there's a shortcut down this way. Down here, there's another shortcut. And I'm like, but we just got beaten up down the last one. Yeah, it's fine. This shortcut's going to be fine. I'm like, is it? You're like, yeah, it's going to be fine. And I don't trust you.
Is it the shortcut to hospital?
It's going to be a shortcut to war. That's what it's going to be.
To a WrestleWar, Phil.
On one side, Sting's squadron. Has Sting managed to recruit the athletic talent needed to win this grueling war? On the other side, Paulie's dangerous alliance. Is Paulie doomed to destruction? We'll find out as WCW presents WrestleWar 92.
Right, the reason I wanted to do this one, though, is I remember this main event blowing my mind when I must have been probably about 13. And I remember going to my mate Chris Shearer's house. Shout out to Chris Shearer. And he had this on VHS. And we watched this show in his room one night whilst just eating chips or something after school. And it was amazing and fucking brilliant.
This is within spitting distance of the Lethal Lottery pay-per-view, isn't it?
It is kind of within spitting distance. Well, that was the sort of tail end of 91, wasn't it? And this is the 17th of May, 1992.
Yeah.
We are in the Jacksonville Coliseum in Jacksonville.
Of course we are. We can't be like north of the Mason-Dixie line, can we?
No, not at all, not at all. We have an attendance of around about 6,000, apparently.
Really? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably something like that.
I query this. I'm sure there's at some point where they go into the crowd, and that first row is really far back on the hard camera side.
Yeah, it might have been slightly massaged with the numbers, but it's still a decent...
A wrestling promotion massaging their attendance numbers?
I know.
How dare you suggest such a crime would exist?
Well, there's every possibility. Possibility. But it's the main crux of this show, what it leads up to, as Tony Schiavone and Eric Bischoff, who seem to be sat in really weird kind of director's chairs.
Yeah, they're just like...
Was it the same thing last month for the Lethal Lottery? I think it was.
No, Bischoff and the Tom Bowler was up at the top somewhere, doing the tour with two mannequins, essentially.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, it was Schiavone and JR doing the commentary, wasn't it?
Yeah. Is this a promotion or a demotion for Schiavone?
What?
Being sat next to Bischoff.
I suppose he's not doing play-by-play, but I suppose you'd rather have Ventura there doing play-by-play.
Oh, yeah.
Having to listen to him than do...
Fair play in the commentary booth. This is the team of Ventura and Ross. That is a bit of a step up, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because Ventura really does kind of illustrate just how good Ventura was.
Yeah, Ventura was amazing.
Yeah.
I love Ventura as a commentator.
And even though, it's not him and Monsoon, him and Ross haven't quite got that chemistry, Ross is still Jim Ross.
Ross is, he's not become JR. He's still Jim Ross.
But he's still the Southern commentator, but, you can tell how good Ross is. Yes. And with a good heel guy next to him in the Super Ventura, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think JR worked a hell of... It's kind of similar in a way to the dynamic that JR and Paul Heyman had circa WrestleMania 17. Because it was the straight-laced JR, wrestling commentator against heel loudmouth that was next to him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a prototype of sort of template of what they would have.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Oh, and Ventura's nuts as well in the opening bit. He's proper going. Was he talking about Vietnam?
Well, as you know, Jim Ross, back in 1969, I went to war, so I know what war is all about. But now it's 1992, and as you said it, pinfalls don't count. You either submit, quit, and that's what war is all about. And I gotta compliment you. That's the most beautiful polka dot tie I've ever seen.
Well, thank you very much.
He goes on about how he's been to war.
Literal war.
Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And, he knows what it's like, which is a bit of a weird thing comparing an actual proper global scale, battle to...
Quite a nasty, conflict that damaged, as a society, let's be honest with ourselves.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, fundamentally damaged America's psyche to the point where it is where we are now.
Yeah, because they didn't bloody win.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is probably why.
Yeah.
You mean we can't just march into other countries, shoot brown people, and then that's it?
That's it. But that's what we did during World War II.
Yeah,
Come on.
That's what we're supposed to do.
It worked. That was. Yeah. So he talks from that to polka dots.
But yeah, then he does say that's the most beautiful polka dot tie I've ever seen to JR, who does have a little kind of polka dot tie.
I mean, it's nice. Fair play to him.
Yeah, it's great, but I don't quite understand how that has to be referenced into this.
It's like, is this like the slow decline from Ventura from wrestling commentator to insane thingy guy, a conspiracy nut?
Conspiracy nut. Oh yeah. What's that program he did? The Jesse Ventura's. Is it literally like Jesse Ventura's undercover conspiracy?
Something like that. I heard him talk about it. He's been on like the Jericho show a couple of times.
Yeah, I saw him go to. He went to Area 50. Is it 51 or 52?
51, yeah.
51 in Nevada, and he nearly got shot because there was like a sniper who was on like. He got so close to the perimeter fence that there was actually a sniper who was like. You could see the red laser.
Werner Herzog did get shot being into by Mark Commode, so we all know who's better.
Yeah, then carry on talking
because he's Werner Herzog.
But he is Werner Herzog, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if he does a wrestling podcast. No.
Oh, no. It'll be the best one ever. We'd have to just finish because what would be the point?
Yeah, Werner Herzog on as a guest.
That's what would be the point.
The main event tonight is the Dangerous Alliance against Sting Squadron. They do raise a slight issue at the start that Sting is coming back early from damaged ribs.
They play that, aren't they? Oh, don't forget a rules explanation.
Oh, yes.
Can't be a WCW show without a rules explanation.
No, Shivani gives up doing halfway through.
And close in a cage. Of course, the beginning is War Games. It starts with a 5-minute period, and of course, then they go in one-on-one based on a coin toss. And Gary Capetta will have the rules, of course, a little bit later on in the telecast.
Why do we have to have so many rules?
Well, at least it's not. I mean, I know last month we were saying, why does this need 2 rings? What's the big deal with 2 rings? Why does it even need 2? What's this whole thing?
Yeah.
And here we are again, a pay-per-view with 2 rings.
2 rings.
But I would argue that this one actually needs to have 2 rings.
Does it though? Oh, we'll come to that at some point.
Yes, it does.
Can I just start off by breaking your heart first of all, Cameron?
Go on.
Firebreaker Chip was on the dark match.
Just got that up on Wikipedia. Diamond Dallas Page and Thomas Rich defeated Bob Cook and Firebreaker Chip in 8 minutes and 5 in a tag team match for the dark match. What a shame.
Anyway, moving on.
Firebreaker Chip. Anyway, moving on. Our opening contest of the evening is the US Tag Title match. It's the Fabulous Freebirds, who, unlike last month's show at the Lethal Lottery, are on the same team again.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garvin and Michael P.S. Hayes. And they are going against Terry Taylor and Greg Valentine.
Who are the champions?
Who are the champions and fresh off their absolutely stunning WWF runs.
Yeah. But also, I think last time he was Terry Taylor. Or was he Terrence Taylor? I forget. But now he's the tailor-made man. He
is the tailor-made. I like what they've done there.
Yeah, and he looks slick and all that. But the fact that whenever they mention it, they have to refer to him as the tailor-made man.
I think the more focused team is Valentine and the tailor-made man.
Weighing 236 pounds, the tailor-made man.
You know, Ross, that polka dot kerchief you got would fit right in the tailor-made man smoking jacket. Tailor-made man. Tailor-made man.
The tailor-made man. Hayes, a little weight advantage on the tailor-made man. Nice shoulder block.
He hit the shoulder nice, but you notice the tailor-made man immediately sliding to his corner.
Tailor-made man.
Whenever he gets into the ring, it's the tailor-made man.
Yeah.
It's just like, why can't that just be a nickname? Why has it got to be his actual name?
It's a bit like, we'll get to Z-Man later on. For the same reason. I think.
Also, like, why is he teaming Valentine? That's a really weird, odd pairing. Greg the Hammer and the tailor-made man.
It seems really, really random.
Yeah.
But it kind of works together.
Yeah. I mean, I think both of them are good enough workers. They can make it work.
Yeah, and they both got kind of these sort of like. Well, I don't. Terry Taylor does carry off the kind of cocky bastard quite well.
Yeah.
Greg Valentine,
that would be a good gimmick for him. Like, he was good in that gimmick, but he's called the tailor-made man.
Yeah. Which does beg the obvious question: tailor-made by whom?
Exactly. What does that even mean?
Yeah, and if you get something tailor-made, you're usually having it to fit you.
Yeah. Ironically, his gimmick is not tailor-made.
No, he can't be tailor-made because otherwise someone would have wanted him made to fit a purpose to their own end.
Oh, you're going down. You. I can feel your mind breaking at the gimmick there, Cameron.
I'm dissolving this gimmick slowly.
I'll bring you back in with trivia. The referee.
Yeah.
See who that was?
It's Bill Alfonso.
Bill Alfonso, the man who you see this man who calls it straight down the middle.
Calls it straight down the middle, yeah. Who will later on manage Sabu and Rob Van Dam.
But also, more importantly, he was at WrestleMania 9 refereeing the Undertaker Giant Gonzalez match.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
I did not pick that up at all.
There you go.
I've watched that match probably about 3 or 4 times and never noticed.
Because you just got your hand over your face going, why?
Yeah. You watch it through your fingers going, why has he got hairy bits on his shoulder and stuff on his crotch? What's going on?
Speaking of crotches, Michael P.S. Hayes.
Well, I was going to say that the Freebirds are introduced during their entrance as the greatest rock and roll band of all time, but Jimmy Garvin blatantly has no sense of rhythm. Are
you sure? He's got wrestler's rhythm. That's what he's got.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like he's there going.
P.S. Hayes hasn't really got that much more rhythm, has he?
Not really. No, they are like a really weird. To put the gimmick on them as a kind of musical rock band, and they're really kind of not got any kind of musical ability whatsoever. No. There we go. I'll put down here. Taylor looks like a proto Triple H.
Yeah, like the early Triple H.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he does. He does. The Freebirds scream absolute nonsense into the camera when they get in the ring. I didn't actually pick up what
no clue
they were talking about.
A little bit of just nonsense, I think.
And where have I got here? I have actually got on my notes. The referee is Bill Alfonso.
Yeah. I've got loads of arm bars on TaylorMade Man.
Yeah, I have
loads of arm bars.
Taylor and Hayes start. Hayes dances. Hayes whips Taylor at the ropes. Tag to Valentine, who ends up colliding with Taylor. There's a little bit further down here after a few moves. Are these rings smaller?
Well, the WCW
I don't know if we discussed this last month.
They're small. The WCW rings were 16 footers, I think, from what I recall, or 18 footers.
But would it have been a 16-foot ring on a one-ring show in WCW?
I would have thought they would just been their regular rings.
Have they used 2 smaller rings because they knew there was going to be 2 together?
But that makes sense.
The reason I'm asking is there seems to be a lot of moments in this match where they can't get the pacing right when they're running the ropes.
Yeah.
There's a couple of all kind of near collisions.
Is that the fact, like, when they're trying to run the ropes, they kind of go, oh shit, there's another ring there, what do I do?
No, they kind of run the ropes, and then someone, like, the other guy will kind of duck under them.
Yeah.
But then the guy running will come off the ropes, and then suddenly they're like, oh shit, he's there. Kind of thing. Well, then, another foot or 2 away.
Yeah. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe they would be, but then that would seem to be stupid, but then it's WCW, which makes sense.
No, it's WCW, that's what I mean. Yeah. There's a moment pretty early in the match. Valentine looks pretty fucking knackered already.
But he doesn't look as pissed off as he was when he was teamed with Honky Tonk, though.
Well, yeah, but I think that's because
angry with it, like, just annoyed to be there.
They were forcing some shitty Elvis gimmick on him, and he blatantly didn't want. If you want, how when you sort of have examples of wrestlers who are given gimmicks, and they live the gimmick.
Well, Terry Taylor's in the ring, for Christ's sake, come on.
Well, yeah. Well, he would. This is a man who a few years ago in WWE was a chicken.
I was a literal chicken.
Yeah,
actual rooster.
Going into barnyards and all this kind of shit. But anyway, but it's like when people say, if anyone other than Mark Calloway was given the Undertaker gimmick at Survivor Series 1990, it probably wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But because Mark Calloway took on, he was the Undertaker, he was undead kind of thing, it worked, and people believed in it, and that's why it lasted for 25 years.
When you don't believe in it, that's the trouble, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the archetypal polar opposite of that is Greg Valentine being in rhythm and blues.
Yeah, does not.
Because he blatantly did not want that gimmick.
You know what? When Honky Tonk comes to the Gloucester Comic Con in October, I might ask him about it.
Yeah?
Hey, Honky, what about that Valentine tag team run, eh? Whoa.
Take a little dictaphone and record it for the podcast.
I'll try. I bet he'll probably just ignore me. Cause
Probably.
We'll just go, you paid your money, or something like that.
Is now a good time to mention I met Tret 7 last month, by the way.
Anyway.
And he's a really nice man.
The worst thing is, like, on my, like, you know, on this thing on Facebook was me sharing, like, a couple of years ago, sharing a poster for New Japan coming to Gloucester that fell through.
Yeah.
And on the poster is AJ Styles, Nakamura, Okada, Tanahashi. And I bet Shibata would have been there as well, because why not? And
Probably.
it fell through. And yeah, that's never going to happen now, is it?
Was that because the promoter didn't even have the money to book them?
They've been the year before. Like Tanahashi and Styles have been there the year before.
Right, okay.
But I think they just, I think the promotion was close, man. I never really got to the bottom of it. It's like, oh,
never mind.
I was that close, Cameron. That close.
You were that close.
That close. But anyway, let's talk about Greg the Hammer Valentine instead.
Match. Lots of arm bars again.
It's an old, because you know, people in the ring. It's an old school work match. There's no kind of, you know, messing around. It's just
no. It's a good
solid old school match.
It's obvious from the last couple of pay-per-views that they've obviously decided that the Freebirds are the sort of wrestlers who can go out and give a good solid 15-minute opener.
Yeah. Plus, I think at this point they've still got cachet for a pop.
Yeah.
Especially in the South, in this kind of region, you know, that this part, you know, what would have been, I suppose, one of the hot territories. They still got enough, you know, as an opening act to kind of get everybody on their feet.
Yeah. I put Hayes nearly gets a DDT on Valentine, but Taylor forearms him. Valentine gets 2 out of this. Valentine gets struck in the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor rakes to Hayes' eyes. Taylor with a gut wrench powerbomb for 2. Valentine figure 4 to Hayes, but Garvin makes the save. Hayes whipped into the turnbuckle, bounces out so hard Valentine has to put the brakes on. Hayes rams Taylor at the corner. Garvin in, who goes completely to town. And then the finish comes. Valentine trips Garvin as Taylor drops the knee on the back of his head.
That looks really nasty, that does.
It does look really looking nasty, actually.
Yeah.
And then Garvin hits the DDT on Taylor for 3. The crowd are bonkers.
They go nuts for him, don't they?
They do go properly off the scale for them.
This isn't even the proper tag belts. It's the US tag belts?
It's the US tag belts, yes.
So this isn't even like... What? Makes no sense.
Yeah, it's a bit
But
of
I guess it's
one.
the, you know, it's your Freebirds.
Yeah, it's pretty much the Freebirds.
That's the Freebirds.
That's pretty damn cool, actually. And then we're back to...
Chuckle Brothers? Sat in their director's chairs?
Yeah, we're back to Schiavone and Bischoff, who look like, you know, they're going through the art of the director. And then they say
Bischoff interviewing Schiavone about his technique.
Yeah, kind of.
God.
You know, so when the camera opens that scene, how did you manage to light that scene, Schiavone? And did that put asses on seats?
No, it did not.
No, it did not. And then they say the motto words, we're going to see Johnny be bad.
Gonna be bad.
Johnny be bad.
Yeah.
Johnny be bad. I'd totally forgotten about this match against Tracy Smothers.
Young Pistol Tracy, thank you very much.
Sorry, Young Pistol Tracy.
I think they put the Tracy in quote marks, which is what confused me.
Probably.
When his name comes up, they put Tracy the Young Pistol's the nickname. Tracy's like his name.
Yeah.
So, but his name's now apparently Young Pistol. Which, to be fair, it's not a bad name.
No, that's a bad name. That's what his mother would have wanted.
But it's just, yeah, and then Johnny B. Bad comes out wearing Dalton Castle's cape.
Yeah, he does, yeah. And now, there's... When you watch the old shows...
Here we go. I can feel a hot take coming on here.
Yeah, you do get that warning at the start, don't you? Kind of going, you know, this is broadcast the way it exactly was.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact wording, but it's basically, this is broadcast exactly the way it was at the time. There are views.
It's the Benoit card, isn't it, essentially?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's not just the Benoit card. It's probably this stuff as well.
Yeah. When you got them putting, like, the women putting money in his knee pads. B-Bad's knee pads.
And the obvious connotation from Ventura that he's gay.
Yeah.
And Ventura does not like this idea.
I'm just saying he's the only guy in the world that has Little Richard for a hero.
Oh no, because he's been to war, Cameron.
He's been to war,
He's been to war.
Vietnam.
There's no time for fanning around like that when you're at war.
No.
You've got to be serious when you're at war.
Well, yeah, exactly. We do have Ventura with Johnny wouldn't mind being called a bridesmaid. Yeah.
May I, at this stage, posit an opinion?
Go on.
I would suggest that the glitter gun was more over than Johnny B. Bad.
Well, yeah.
Because, he's all popular, he's got the glitter gun and all that. I think DDP steals at one point, goes to WWF, no glitter gun. Pfft.
No, there's a certain level of crowd interaction. I've put down here that I think it was Jim Cornette said it. And when Jim Cornette worked for the WWF and Mark Merrow was there, Wildman Mark Merrow, Jim Cornette said the problem was that WCW trained people to be characters.
Rather than wrestlers.
Who could take on any character. So when they got Mark Merrow, they found out he was good at being Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah.
But he was pretty rubbish being anyone else.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see where he's coming from.
Well, he wouldn't. I guess he wouldn't have gone through the territory system of having to get over in different places and towns like that. He was just brought in as.
I think he was one of the
gimmick.
Yeah, he was like, you're this guy now. Go and be him. And that's what the power plant in WCW apparently did a lot of. They just sort of said, right, you're this, be this.
Yeah.
And as soon as you took that away from them, they didn't know what to do.
They were exposed.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Big Show's said that plenty of times, hasn't he? Like when he went from WCW to WWF, it was like night and day, didn't he? He's been on record saying that a lot of times. He wasn't quite ready for what actual working was like when he got to that company.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it was Jericho says the same thing in his book as well.
Yeah. Jericho
says that after about 3 months of him being in the WWF, he was taken to one side by Vince McMahon and just sort of told that he absolutely sucked.
Yeah. I guess it's just that environment of WCW, wasn't it? It was just...
Yeah, it's just like you did what you did, and then that's what you did.
Yeah.
And that was it. And no one kind of told you to get any better, and no one challenged you.
Which essentially describes this match, I think.
Well, it's one of the things. Once again, it's kind of like the opener. It's a solid enough wrestling match.
Smothers is a good heel.
Yeah. Smothers is a good heel.
Not sure he does it, but there's a good elbow drop from the top rope.
Yeah. There is indeed. And
did you notice, in the front row, there's two guys wearing white suits and bow ties watching this match?
I did not notice this. No.
I think they're at the front row of because this is in the other ring now. Just to clarify for people.
Yeah, they're swapping rings again. Yeah.
So they're sat. I think there's a woman in the middle with a camera taking some photos of it. But they're proper dressed up for this. And it's you're in Jacksonville. Come on. What's the point? And you're watching Tracy Smothers versus Johnny B. Bad.
Well, it must have been exciting at the time.
Well, I suppose. I'll grant you that.
Yeah. It's not bad. What have we got here? I was good there. Smothers flying top rope elbow for 2. And then goes up again and cross bodies. Johnny B. Bad for 2. Smothers with headlock. There's a point in this. Ventura does bring up the rather good point. And this is why Ventura's so good on commentary.
Yeah.
He brings up the fact... I don't know if it's called the Tutti Frutti yet, but they do say, he mentions that the punch finishing move that Johnny B. Bad does is with a closed fist.
Closed fist, yeah.
Should be made illegal.
He's really annoyed with it, isn't it? The whole time he's constantly running it down.
And he's really pissed off with it.
Yeah, that's true, but let's talk about that. It's a closed fist. It's illegal, Jim Ross. Why is he allowed to throw a closed fist illegal punch? This is wrestling.
And he's probably, it's one of them things of, he's a heel, but he's probably got a point.
Yeah.
In that it's a closed fist.
Yeah, because you can't be doing that. And that's his winner, isn't it? He boshes Smothers with his closed fist.
He does, yeah.
He's not happy about it.
Top rope sunset flip from Johnny B. Bad, and then a left hook for the 3 count because he knocks Tracy Smothers silly. And Ventura still says it's a closed fist.
Yeah.
And he's right. But I think it's a decent enough match. I mean, it goes on for about 7 minutes, I think.
It's not. It doesn't hang around long enough for you to get annoyed. If that makes sense.
It's not offensively bad. It's not for a title. It's just a show off. I think the Johnny B. Bad character was fairly new at this sort of stage.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad sort of filler in a match, really. There's a lot worse you could have.
Well, speaking of a lot worse, after not saying anything at all last show, we got Missy Hyatt as the backstage interviewer.
Yes. With the Freebirds.
Yeah, and their manager who wasn't at ringside for their match.
No.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Not really, no. And Michael Hayes is just shouting bollocks.
Missy, I want to say we dedicated this match to Ronnie Van Zant and the whole Leonard Skinner band. And wasn't it ironic that right here in Jacksonville, where Leonard Skinner was born, where Southern rock and roll emerged, is where the fabulous Freebirds are climbing that stairway back to heaven. And this is only the first step. There's an NWA Tag Team Tournament for the world titles. Guess who's knocking on the door? There's somebody else has the WCW World Tag Team titles. Guess who's knocking on the door? I can't say why we do what we do, but we are the Freebirds, and that's our excuse.
Not quite Legion of Doom levels of bollocks.
But up there. Getting there.
But getting there.
Yeah.
And then we get Eric Bischoff with, in this politically equal 90s.
Yes.
There's a successful woman behind every man.
Come on, Bischoff.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks for that. Yeah. And then we get our third match of the evening, which is the stunning wonder of Scotty Flamingo.
Scotty Flamingo. Poor Raven, man.
Yeah. Can you look at this guy and you're like, Raven, really?
Raven. Well, what was he? Johnny Polo? Was his name Johnny Polo?
He was Scotty Flamingo in WCW, as is evidence here.
Yeah.
He joined the WWF and became a manager.
Yeah, he was Adam Bomb's manager, wasn't he?
Scotty.
Wait, I'm just thought you get Raven in, and you think, oh, you know what? He can manage Adam Bomb.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah. It was,
God, the 90s, man, were messed up, weren't they? What was going on?
Weird. Because he's Johnny Polo, wasn't he?
Yeah, Johnny Polo.
Which was the same kind of gimmick, kind of.
It was like Scotty Flamingo, only he wore like a hat. He had a hat?
Yeah. He had the kind of sort of, he had the polo mallet and things like that, didn't he? And
yeah,
that was
he was called Johnny Polo. Therefore, he has a polo mallet. That's how gimmicks work, Cameron. That's how it's done in the big leagues.
Nowhere near as good as his son, Johnny Polo. Jackie Polo, rather. Because Jackie Polo's immense. So, anyway.
Just talk about your independent British wrestling pals again. That's all it is, isn't it?
Yeah, my independent British wrestling pals. Did I tell you I met Jackie Polo?
So there's some tie-up. They do a tie-up. There's a lot of slaps.
There is, yeah. It's like I put the here down here. They lock up a lot until slapping commences.
There's slapping.
There's just slapping.
But talking about how Ventura can help a show, there's a bit here we kind of goes on about counters.
Yeah,
and actually, he actually makes sense and actually makes it seem like a contest.
And the key to that was the reversal as to how he got there. Bagwell trying to go for a headlock. Flamingo slipped right in behind him. Real beautiful move, and both these guys are going at it. Move and counter move, but now we're getting back to the punching again.
And it's not a difficult thing to do on commentary, but talking about why they're doing what they're doing in the ring just helps sell the match as being a match.
Well,
and it's just watching thinking, that's really simple, but it works. Why doesn't it happen more? Why?
It's kind of one of them things of I think it's lost. You've got so much more to consider nowadays
to get over it on screen as best you can.
I mean, to be fair, at no point during this evening do JR and Ventura have to put over bloody Doritos or fucking Hot Pockets.
Well, we're only a few years away from Slim Jims on the bloody corner post, aren't we? So it's not too far
exactly.
off.
Or whoever's sponsored this, or the latest thing of Rocket League.
But we can't be mean to Rocket League because Legion of Boom.
Because Rocket League's fantastic.
Rocket League's fantastic.
But they don't have to put over another network special. They don't have to do. They can concentrate purely on the wrestling,
which Ventura does, and it just makes the match seem more intense. And it's like, yes,
yeah, it's really good.
Yes, the match isn't that long though, is it? I don't think there's.
It's 7 minutes again.
Is it? Oh, I've only got about 3 notes in this one.
No, it's about 7 minutes. We get more slaps. Bagwell takes control with an Irish whip, and then Bagwell with a snap suplex. Bear with me while I turn the page.
Isn't it like a suggestion both of them go over the top rope, and it's like a suggestion of a DQ because it's that kind of era where going over the top rope could be a disqualification because stupidity.
Was that not a Bill Watts thing?
Yeah, you can't go over the top rope.
Bill Watts' band moves over the top rope.
Yeah.
I seem to remember a lot of that happening.
Yeah.
But
I think because both of them go over, it's not a disqualification, but they have to point it out in case people go, it should have been a disqualification.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Both men go over the top. Flamingo has to adjust his run as the ring is smaller. I'm still convinced during this the ring's smaller because he obviously reduces his stride. Bagwell running elbow. Bagwell with an awful fisherman suplex, but Flamingo gets to the ropes. And Bagwell will roll up for 2. Flamingo reverses it and grabs his tights for 3.
Good heel finish. Good heel finish.
And then gets the fuck out of Dodge.
Yep.
Which is to say, again, it's not a terrible match. You don't look at it and think, "God, this was utter shit." It's 2 young guys.
Yeah.
Give them a bit of space on a pay-per-view. It's fairly decent, I reckon. I quite enjoyed it, really, to be honest. There's been nothing so far in the night's events that has been phenomenally blowing my mind away.
Well, that's clearly coming because they're saving it for the next pay-per-view, Beach Blast.
Exactly.
Which I believe they describe as totally beaching.
Totally beaching. Wicked. And other 90s phrase, cowabunga.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
How about now we have JR and Jesse with some highlights. Is it like a match and Junkyard Dog comes down to the ring to intervene in some match? Junkyard Dog wearing a suit, which just seems wrong to me. I don't know why.
It does a little bit, yeah.
But Junkyard Dog wearing like a really sharp suit. It's like, no. No, you should be wearing like where's the dog chain and stuff and things that I remember you were having in WWF for a short period.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Mr. Hughes usually wore the suit.
Well, speaking of Mr. Hughes, you segue. This is the beef match, isn't it? There's a lot of beef in this match.
There's a bit, yeah. There's a bit of yeah.
Got Curtis Hughes beef, Cactus Jack bit beefy, versus Ron Simmons beef.
Yep.
JYD beef.
This was supposed to be a tag match.
Supposed to be, but
does not end being,
Cactus
being
Jack
a tag match.
Jumps JYD on the ramp.
They do, yeah. They just wait by the ramp and then just jump him.
Seems, one of the pairs having a tall ramp, I guess, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. They just literally just kind of hide behind the ramp and then, ooh. Yeah. So it ends up being mainly Ron Simmons versus Mr. Hughes.
Like, is Cactus Jack stay out there? I can't remember. Did he stay at like ringside?
Yeah, he sticks around at ringside.
Yeah, just...
Because there's the whole question that JR and Ventura aren't really sure if it's going to be a handicap match.
I think the ref just books the match as a singles.
I think, the ref just waves it on as a singles, and as soon as Cactus Jack stays outside, that's it.
Yeah.
So it's officially listed as a singles match between Ron Simmons and Mr. Hughes.
Ron Simmons is wearing a headband. That's not a million miles away from his Farouk hat.
It's a little bit.
It's heading that way.
It's a little bit far off his blue helmet.
Yeah, but it's kind of pointing where he's going to end up at some point, I think.
When Sonny was going to manage him for all of about a month.
Yeah, because that seems like a good idea.
Because she was after a gladiator. Yeah. Anyway, Cactus Jack just wanders off. Only to
I assume just to hit somebody with wood or something. I don't know.
Probably just to go and batter someone, really.
Yeah.
Cactus is screeching, "Ron Simmons!
Ron Simmons, get out! Ron Simmons! Ron Simmons!"
Why isn't the referee ringing the bell?
And they've put down here, is Cactus being a manager?
I'm not sure. Cactus manager?
No, I'm not sure either. And then, as I say, the commentary's not sure because Ventura's like, is this going to be one-on-one? Hughes takes control.
I love that, Ventura's like, again, he's just like annoyed, like, what's going on?
Yeah, Ventura's like properly kind of like going, well, what's going on here?
Can someone explain it to me, please?
Yeah. Hughes takes control. Simmons is with a really fast hip toss. Hughes misses the rope splash. And I put down here, Simmons 3-point stance to the knee for 3. He just literally chops his knee.
Yeah, chop block to the knee, and that's it. That's it. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're making a really big deal about bringing Junkyard Dog back, and it's just like completely gazumped.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, this is one of the few times I think they show, like, highlights of a previous show, which is, the return of Junkyard Dog. And he doesn't even make it. It's not even like, was it the guy, Buddy Lee, whatever it was last week, that crawled down the ramp across an entire ring?
Yes.
To get into his match before he, was beat up for the finish. It's not even that. He just, like, has bad ribs and he's gone.
Yeah, pretty much. I did say that they're selling an elbow drop as absolutely deadly.
Which,
one of Mick Foley's traditional kind of elbow drops off tall ramp onto someone, wasn't it?
Off tall thing onto somebody else.
Off tall thing onto pro and opponent, yeah. Which he will... Probably, those are not the ones that Mick Foley, when he went for surgery on his hip, was always like, sort of said that those were the spots that all these old guys were saying, if you carry on doing those, you're not going to be walking.
He saved those up for a long time.
Yeah, and that was it. And yeah, that's the reason why he had the hip surgery about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh,
But we got to move on to the glamour match next.
It's an absolute corker of a glamour match, Phil.
Here we go.
Todd Champion from who I quote from the WCW Special Forces.
Yeah. Like, what?
What? It's not quite as daft as Web City with
Just
a
get in there.
man, but you're kind of thinking, what is he? Are these the Special Forces that Jesse Ventura led into Vietnam?
Yeah, Todd Champion.
Possibly. Todd Champion was there, and it's like, I remember now, man.
I remember them.
I was
I won it. That's why I'm called champion.
Yep.
I won the Vietnam.
Vietnam,
But
man.
who could be the caliber of enemy to defeat Todd Champion? Who? Super Invader.
Yes.
He's easy out now.
From?
He's from Japan, yeah.
No, he's from Bangkok.
That's
Thailand.
it. He's from the Orient.
He is.
I can only assume that under the mask must be some kind of import from Japan.
Import from Japan. Yeah, you think that?
Or
would,
maybe Hawaii at a push. But basically, someone who looks foreign.
Yeah.
Hercules. Wearing some mask on the Super Invader. Basically, it's just like covers his entire face.
Yep.
And like tracksuit bottoms near enough.
At least I would suggest he's at least covering his whole arse.
Yes. To be fair.
As Hercules has had problems in the past.
We've had issues with Hercules.
Trunks are somewhat small.
Trunks are a little bit up there. But these, we're all covered.
Yes.
A little bit too far with the face, but I guess you've got to go with what you can't have any kind of part of him visible because they'll go, wait a second, you're not from Bangkok, you're Hercules.
No, it's a bit kind of like the idea of some American fella pretending to be from the Orient. I think, to be honest, it's what did Albert in when he was Lord Tensai.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was blatantly you're not Japanese.
It made sense a little bit because obviously he had, he was in, Great Bernard in New Japan?
He was Giant Bernard.
Bernard, which, New
Japan, yeah.
So having him come back as some kind of crazy Japanese dude kind of made sense.
Yeah, I think the idea was that he had been in Japan for so long he had immersed himself in the Japanese culture. I think was the idea. But there you go.
We soon got to sweet tea and all that unpleasantness.
Yeah, all that stupidness.
Harley races with Super Invader, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, because
he's Harley races.
That seems like the best use of Harley race on this pay-per-view is teaming with the Super Invader. And his glove. Super Invader's glove. He's got a big glove. That's a big kind of Freddy Krueger thing.
Oh, yeah.
With kind of spiky fingers. That he's constantly, for the entire match, having to pull up because it looks so awkward to wear. He's constantly adjusting it because it looks stupid.
Yeah, it is a bit.
He's got this... What is it with... I don't know how to articulate Super Invader, to be honest.
Try. Go on, try.
No, I can't. It's just
You can't, no.
Well, why 1992 are you bringing in Hercules, for starters?
He would probably be a good worker at the time.
Maybe, but then why give him his gimmick? Why make
don't know.
Why make him the Super Invader?
He's WCW. I don't know. They must have had an opening for a foreign menace.
We haven't got anybody foreign. Hercules sounds foreign.
As we'll go into later on, they do have a working relationship with New Japan.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Why couldn't they just...
And this is actually the match where they're on the outside and Todd Champion gets thrown into the rail and he knocks it back a good 2 rows.
Yes.
Because there's just nobody there. And then Champion manages he knocks the headband off the mask, so it's just now a big sock over his face.
Yes.
And then nearly pulls it off while he's punching him. It's Champion, you're not doing very good, are you?
No, I think the summary of this match's quality is probably the fact that they start talking about Beach Blast halfway through.
Yeah.
Watch Beach Blast, baby.
Which worries me because I'm sure at some point Ventura starts talking about measurements.
Yes, I have watched that Beach Blast and I know...
It's a bodybuilding thing, isn't it?
No.
It's the bloody Flaxathon like we had with flipping Ultimate Warrior, isn't it?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's literally tits.
No.
That's what it is.
Literally tits.
He starts off the paper. There's like a little wooden cabana at the top of the ramp,
Yeah.
and Ventura's there, but he's surrounded by all these.
This is like Vietnam.
Yeah, just like in Vietnam. He's surrounded by all these sort of bikini-clad beauties,
Of course he is.
and it's he that has to make sure that
Wait, is this the political correctness that Bishop was referring to early on in the show?
this is the politically correct 90s. Yes, that they have these. I think there's about 5 or 6 of them that are all just kind of paid to pretend they're playing volleyball or something at the top of the ramp on this little fake set with all little sand around it and all this kind of stuff. And that's all Ventura has to do is just sit there and just
Do that.
stare at them, like, and make sure they're safe and no one takes advantage of them. That's his role.
This is wrong. I think this conversation kind of illustrates the quality of the match.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because we've been talking about another pay-per-view.
Yeah.
What I do want to
Invader-
mention on the finish, it's
Yeah.
Super Invader basically powerbombs champion,
Yes.
but he does it right on his lower back.
He really does.
He,
Yeah.
It looks like a really nasty way to take that particular powerbomb.
Yep.
It's like, obviously, you take it, I'm no wrestler, but obviously you take it like on your shoulders and, so you can get your arms out to kind of take
No,
it.
but like it's like the first thing you're always taught in any wrestling training is to how to fall back on your shoulders.
But he
And that's
dumps
where you
in.
want to land. You
I
don't want
know-
to be landing on your small of your back or your neck.
Yeah, I don't know if it's champion, not taking the bump right, or if it's the Invader put him. I can imagine Invader doing it wrong because he can't see fuck all in that helmet.
No, you can see fuck all in that helmet.
So
And
I
I think
can imagine that.
it would be his responsibility to make sure that
The
he's
landing's
got
all right
the grip right and make sure that champion doesn't land.
on his lower back, which is weird because you think you can imagine that really injuring somebody, but then you see what Shawn Michaels did to get his back injury, and it's like nothing in comparison.
Oh yeah, the Shawn Michaels casket one was literally
It's so weird, isn't it?
he
Like
carries on
glancing
with that
below.
match. Apparently, it was like it's a bit of a sidetrack in here, but apparently it took him 2 days for that to have any effect on him.
It's weird, isn't it? Something that put him out for so long,
Yeah, but
you want it to be like
Here's-
something kind of ridiculous.
here's the thing that my wife's a nurse.
Oh, here
Claire's
we
a
go.
nurse.
Here we go.
And and when I told her that, she was like, she instantly, having known nothing about Shawn Michaels, I know nothing about the history of the entire thing, went, how high off his face was he on painkillers at the time? And I was like, funny you should mention that.
You mentioned that an awful lot.
Because she's like, yeah, the only way he would not notice a disc rupturing
Yeah,
would be if he was off his face
Yeah.
on massive amounts of
not
painkillers.
quite like the Patriot level kind of
Yeah.
level painkillers, but not far off. I would have thought.
Yeah, and they just happened to wear off at that time.
Yeah.
Because he does say that he woke up in the morning at his house 2 days later and couldn't get out of bed
Go to bed.
because he was just crippled.
Speaking of waking up and realizing that you're in a lot of pain, Big Josh versus Richard Morton next.
Yeah, Richard Morton, not Ricky Morton.
Still
Richard
Richard
Morton.
Morton because he's a heel because he's got a long name now.
No, he's a heel because he's got a mullet. I don't know.
But Big Josh comes out with a 2x4. I wonder where he got that idea from.
I have no idea. I just put here, Big Josh looks like a right tool. He's a lumberjack and he's okay.
This is such a shame because we talked about Big Josh last time.
We did.
Big Josh being Doink the Clown.
Yes.
And
because he can wrestle. He can actually properly
because
wrestle.
what was the King of the Ring where he wrestled as Doink against Bret Hart? We did that. It was one where Lauder came out and he couldn't because he's in a car crash, so his court jester came out for the match.
94?
Yeah, we did that one, didn't we? But that match, him with Bret Hart, that was an absolute corker of a match.
It was really good, yeah. And he had a lot of. He could go.
He could really work.
He could totally really work.
But no
He was
one
really good.
and I think with the Doink gimmick, yeah, I think he had a good shot at that. But I can't remember if he left because he had issues with drinking and stuff,
I can't remember.
or if it was when they turned Doink face, which was just a bad,
Ruined it.
the
Yeah.
whole thing. But I'm here, it's not a good gimmick, but you can still see, Richard Morton's not a bad worker, probably more tight.
Oh, no, yeah, Morton's amazing.
So the two of them, they were another good, decent match.
It's indecent. You had a lot of people in the sort of undercard at WCW at this point in time
Yeah.
who could have a decent enough match.
Yeah.
And I mean,
we can lose the log roll move that he's got. That doesn't really
yeah,
matter.
that's just ridiculously
That's
stupid.
but he's a lumberjack. That's why he's got to do a log roll, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I do like it at some point in the match, like Morton just decides he hates flannel shirts. And he starts trying to get his shirt off.
Yeah, and just rips it.
Just don't like his shirt, pal.
We do get commentary saying there's not traditional footwear that was approved by WCW.
Because again, Ventura doesn't like it.
Morton rips off Big Josh's shirt. I've put here for a big guy, Josh could wrestle.
Yeah.
Morton tries a monkey flip, but Josh just stomps on him.
I've written down, I can't remember who does it, but I've got awesome looking forearm hit.
I think that was Big Josh. I've got it here.
It was.
Josh is a huge belly to belly. Josh with an underhook suplex. And Josh with an inverted atomic drop as Morton comes off the ropes. Axe handle. And then a northern exposure for the winning 3, which appears to be a sort of variant of what will become Doink's whoopee cushion.
Yeah.
And then it just seems to be just sit on him.
And also, like, the northern exposure sounds slightly rude as well, doesn't it? As well?
It does sound slightly rude. Rude. I suppose ruder would be southern exposure.
Either way.
Yes.
You know what? I got so drunk last night, I had a bit of northern exposure.
Hey!
Bit of blue, bit of blue.
Yeah, something for the weekend,
sir. But yeah, that's a match, isn't it?
It's a decent match. I'll have to admit, it's kind of been a sort of continual line, this pay-per-view so far.
Yeah.
There's been nothing that's been absolutely through the floor terrible, but there's nothing that's made you kind of go, Jesus wept, this is good.
I mean, Space Invader, Super Invader was pretty close to that point.
Yeah.
Just by the sheer, just that mask, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So there we get some more highlights from a previous show, highlighting the beef between Flying Brian Pillman and the Z-Man.
Yes, who
They're
were
pals,
a tag team at one stage, and were good pals.
And you can tell they're a tag team because look at their shirts.
Yes.
Look at their shirts. Boy, oh boy. I know this is an audio podcast, but I'm going to try and have that as like the header for the Facebook page when the episode drops. Even though it's got, strictly speaking, nothing to do with the actual pay-per-view itself. But boy, oh boy, that's a pair of shirts.
It is. It is indeed.
That's a pair of shirts right there, man.
Speaking of, this pay-per-view's been one continual line. I think for this, which is what? This is the last 3 matches we're on to now?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're fairly rattling through this. This is when this pay-per-view picks up to, this is good levels.
I remember the Z-Man. I don't think I really kind of watched his matches.
I think I
got him confused with somebody else.
Yeah, I was going to say I had to Google who he was. I was like, I'm sure then I remembered Tom Zenk is a name I've heard.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have gone, oh yeah, I remember watching that Tom Zenk match. I had no idea.
No clue. Obviously, Flying Brian is,
Oh, yeah. Who became, who is Brian Pillman,
Yeah. It could have been, like a game changer if he'd lived.
It could have been amazing. It could have been, had he not had the accident, had he actually, not
but even
died.
with the accident, you can probably put, hit the way he was, laid a lot of groundwork for the Attitude Era. Or am I just talking out my bits there?
No.
Like his early I think his early feud with Austin.
Yeah. Which got pulled off air because they actually pulled the gun.
But the way that kind of took, it referenced their previous, relationship in a different territory because they referred to themselves as tag team partners, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it kind of, it didn't just keep it as the 2 characters having a thing. It was about those 2 people having an issue with it going back years.
Yeah.
Which kind of, you do get it nowadays, obviously, you got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in there, their history and all that kind of stuff. But especially at the time, you wouldn't go back more than a couple of years for feuds, certainly not to a different company.
No, not at all.
So, the work he did with Austin, obviously before it was all cut short, I think a lot of that probably, was the stuff that put the initial rocket under Austin for a fair while.
Oh, yeah. It was a really, you had that infamous Monday Night Raw segment where he broke into Austin's house.
Yeah, with the gun and all that.
Oh, with the gun, and all this kind of jazz.
Yeah.
I think, and was it not, I can't even remember this 100% on the that. Was it not Pillman who, it was, who kind of booked his own release from WCW?
I think so.
Because he convinced Bischoff that it was all going to be a storyline and he was going to go ECW.
Yeah.
And he turned up in ECW. And then Bischoff had actually legally released him from his contract for real. because Pillman's whole argument was that would make it even more realistic.
Yeah.
And then Pillman used that to have leverage to sign his vastly improved WWF contract. So Bischoff effectively released him, not really wanting to, but Pillman wanted to leave, so that's how Pillman did it. That is some amazing smarts.
Could you imagine like the political machinations of him and Triple H in the same company?
Yeah, oh god, can you imagine that? That'd be so fucking funny. But if he hadn't have sadly died, he would have been an ideal fit for the Attitude Era.
Oh yeah, and you can
he
see
would have been
here,
such a good addition.
He's much more of a straight-laced babyface kind of character.
Oh yeah.
A bit heelish to him, like a little bit, but I think that I don't know if that's him being heelish or me putting it on him because of how I know Pillman down the line.
Yeah,
kind of crazy Pillman. You know what I mean? If I'm imprinting it on the character as opposed to there, but it's tricky, isn't it, when you kind of looking back on those kind of things.
Yeah,
but you can see here like how good he is.
Oh yeah. And both of these guys are good.
Yeah,
I mean, I must admit, I knew nothing of this match. I didn't remember it. I must have watched it, but at the time, but didn't remember it.
Yeah.
And I was all set to kind of go,
another decent but okay match.
Yeah, there are occasions where you watch matches for the Conquistabores and you're kind of thinking, God, I wish I could fast forward this. Why am I wasting my life watching this? Oh, because I've got to, because we're doing a podcast. And I was on the verge of believing it for this one because I was thinking, as soon as they lock up, it's just going to, no, it's good. I ended up loving this.
Yeah.
This was a really good 15-minute match. I loved this match.
Yeah.
It was really good.
There's some great commentary from Ventura as well, because essentially they're both face characters.
Yes.
So Ventura's just dying for someone to cheat. Like he really wants someone to.
He puts the point across that someone will cheat. At some stage, and who's it going to be?
We may get the cheap shot right here. Nope, not yet.
Yeah, who's going to be the one to do that?
The entire thing that Ventura has throughout this match, he's like going to go, someone's going to rake the eyes, Jim Ross, and it's all about who starts it first. And he's right. And if you notice at the start, by the way, the Z-Man is scared by his own pyro.
Because I would have even told him it was there.
I don't think they did, because he visibly jumps out of his skin when it explodes behind him. He's like, oh.
Wait, I get pyro? What? What?
Yeah, I was like, he wasn't expecting that.
Not at all.
There's a handshake offered at the start, but Z-Man shoves it away, which is kind of a sort of sign of things to come.
Yeah.
There's a double drop kick. There's a few moments in this match where both guys go for the same move at the same time. The idea being that they were on a tag team together, so therefore they're on the same page.
Yeah.
They know each other so well. Both men go for a flying forearm earlier on.
But it helps ramp it up, doesn't it? Because they kind of start off and they kind of get the pace in the match going quite well, don't they? To kind of build up to a climax.
There's a couple of moments where they it's a bit edgy. I mean, I say they fuck up Z-Man leapfrogging a running Bryan and they just kind of bump into each other at one stage, which looks a bit weird. Also, for this point in the match, by the way, you'll probably take this and drop it into the podcast. I think this will become the new That Damn Test. It's the amount of times that Jesse Ventura says nose tackle.
Yeah, he loves his football.
Nose tackle!
He was a second-team All-American nose tackle, believe it or not. About 20 pounds heavier than he is now. I mentioned before the year he was a second-team All-American nose tackle, the first team.
Nose tackle?
Yeah, Pillman played nose tackle, second-team All-American.
Nose tackle? Up in Minnesota, our nose tackles usually weigh 250.
Very, very quick.
Nose tackle?
Head scissors applied.
I don't watch American football. I have no fucking idea what he's talking about. Z-Man gets too close, pinfalls, but say Pillman slaps him on the way back up. So that's the first kind of sign of them breaking. They're starting to basically, take cut corners.
To break down now, isn't it?
Yep.
Starting to get a little bit dicey.
Pillman starts to work Z-Man's leg. Z-Man, lovely looking suplex. Z-Man goes for a splash to the top rope. Pillman gets his knees up. There's a Z-Man Enziguri for 2. Z-Man bashes his knee in the corner. Pillman goes to the figure 4. When they're locked in the figure 4, they just slap each other senseless.
Yeah.
They're both just sitting there in a figure 4. Z-Man screaming in pain, but Pillman's just slapping him across the face.
Him. Why not?
It's just great.
What about the slapping tonight?
There's a lot of slaps going on. There's a Z-Man power slam for 2. A Pillman crucifix pin for 2.
The crowd are proper into it by this stage, aren't they? They really sucked him in
so nicely. This match. It's about 15 minutes, if I remember rightly. This match, and it's really bloody good. They collide in midair again because they go for the same crossbody again, Pillman gets flipped up in midair and Z-Man just kind of drops him. Z-Man can't stand. Pillman goes up top. Z-Man kicks him, but the pinfall's broken on the ropes. And then Z-Man goes up to the top rope again, but crashes off it. And then Pillman pins him for 3 on that. And Pillman wins. I think in about 15 and a half minutes, if I remember.
Cracking little match.
It's really, really good for the light heavyweight championship.
But again, it's like that the WCW thing, like the undercard light heavyweight matches, just, knocking out the park.
Oh, yeah.
And they haven't got, like, Guerrero and Jericho and Mysterio and all those kind of guys yet, but it's that kind of vibe still, isn't it? That kind of vibe of...
Yeah. It's a really, really top quality match, this. I really loved it. I thought it was great. I think it was probably more so that it was a surprise for me.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere.
Like I say, I was like kind of going, this isn't going to be great, is it? These two are kind of mid-carders.
Whoever's, yeah.
No, it was properly good. There's a lot of effort from both of them, and I was quite surprised. Pleasantly so.
Yeah, speaking of pleasantly surprised, it's the Beach Blast advert again.
Yeah, because you can watch Jesse Ventura do chest measurements.
Yeah. But now things go bonkers because we got another tag team match.
We have.
Which is the Steiners.
Yep.
Versus, I can't read my handwriting for the guys' names from Japan.
Tatsumi Fujinami and Takayuki Iizuka.
Those guys.
I think.
For the number one contender for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team belts.
The number one contender for the IWGP Tag Team.
So the Steiners are the WCW champs, yeah?
Yeah.
Best tag team in the world.
Yeah.
I checked at this point the WWE Tag Team champs were Money Inc., so that's probably a fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Really? Was it Money Inc.?
Yeah, the Money Inc. was the tag champs, yeah.
Oh, Christ.
That was,
how long was it? Because it's not going to be too long until the Steiners turn up in...
Within a year, I would have thought.
Oh, yeah, well, they were at WrestleMania 9, weren't they, in 1993? So, yeah, it's less than a year until they leave, temporarily, anyway. A
bit of diversity pyro, dry-through pyro for the boys from Japan.
Yes.
I think it just kind of goes, and that's it, that's the pyro.
Yeah, that's it.
Crowd loves a Steiner again.
Boy, yes.
They love a Steiner, don't they?
Oh, they do love a fucking Steiner.
Yeah.
It's really bloody good.
And then Jesse Ventura, I think last match he was talking about lots of football references. Now it's car companies.
Now what's located in Michigan? The big 3 automakers. And we all know what's located in Japan. Nissan and Toyota and Mazda and all those car companies that are causing our workers to go out of business.
Ford versus Toyota. General Motors versus whatever.
He does get a little bit Donald Trump halfway through this match, doesn't he?
A little bit.
He's there kind of, that's all the Japanese car companies coming over here and making against good American cars like Corvettes.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, okay.
Ford.
I think he's having like flashbacks to Vietnam, so he's just going off on one.
He's just going off on one. Yeah, I remember sort of nearly dying underneath the flag.
Yeah.
Never mind. Anyway, I've written a whole bundle of notes for this match. But to be honest,
there's a couple of points where it gets very Japanese. As in, like, there's a bit where Scott Steiner just kind of like, I think he's got Fujinami and just kind of like falls backward and just lands him on his head.
Yep.
And then does the same thing to Iizuka. Just dumps him on his head because, that's how you do it in Japan, isn't it?
Oh, you do it, yeah.
You do it.
I mean, they're not going to sell anything that doesn't fucking properly hurt.
Yeah. But what about the mid-air belly-to-belly spot?
That is really good.
It looks like the Japanese fellas are going for is it Doomsday Device?
Yes.
And Steiner just catches him in mid-air.
And instead just belly-to-bellies him off the other guy's shoulders.
Which I don't think I've seen that spot since.
Nope.
I can imagine why, because Jesus Christ, if you mess that up.
Yeah. But it looks bloody good.
It looks cracking, doesn't it?
Yeah. It is. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you've basically got the kind of like ground mat-based wrestling of the Steiners.
Yeah.
Versus the hard-hitting style of the Japanese guys.
Yeah. Although I think at some point, I think Steiner, I don't know if he's trying to stamp authority in the match, but he basically just smashes Iizuka in the face.
Yeah.
I think he just lands on his head something after a move. And like, it looks like he's broken his nose. And Iizuka looks mildly concussed for the rest of the match.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah. He's properly bleeding and trying to clear the blood off his face.
Continually. And you can see Fujinami trying to protect him to keep him out of the ring as much as possible after that.
Yeah, there's this.
I think they realise he is genuinely, like, properly messed up.
Yeah, he's properly, like, the stars are circling his head.
Yeah.
There are tweeting birds.
I know, in this era, people, like, especially like what happened to Shibata and all that.
Oh, yeah.
the fact that Iizuka manages to get through the rest of the match.
Yeah.
And actually kind of comes out and has a good, few moves for himself and actually, doesn't just stand on the ring apron. He partakes the rest of it. I assume, hits all the rest of his spots for the rest of the match. Fair play to him for getting through it.
Yeah, I think they're very lucky it was a tag match because it was a singles and he'd been rocked completely. Yeah,
because
just had to finish it. But
even good 5 minutes after he gets hit, he's still trying to shake his head and clear the cobwebs, isn't he? He's just properly bell rung on that after that.
Yep, and they do get a Steiner screwdriver in as well.
Yeah,
which is just amazing. It's just really, really bloody good.
Yeah, and I think it's only towards the end we get a USA chant, which was quite disappointing.
Well. You say disappointing.
Because your man Hacksaw would have started that before he'd even...
Hacksaw would have started at the top of the ramp.
Top of the ramp? As soon as he got out there.
Went,
USA! That's when you started a USA chant, not towards the end of the match when you got two Japanese boys in there.
No, not at all. Yeah. Not at all. This is... I just love this match as well.
Yeah.
This is really good. As you say, it's a lot of Japanese hard-hitting style, which not a lot of American fans would have been able to see at the time.
But I think it's quite, you can kind of see the tag team for the... New Japan guys. Fujinami's the squirrely veteran. He kind of knows how to work.
Yeah.
And Iizuka's a bit more of the young lion, just got a bit more option. I think he's still actually wrestling. I double checked. I think he's in the Suzuki Gun stable.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm sure it was because he went across when Suzuki Gun. They invaded. Was it Pro Wrestling Noah? He was in part of that. So yeah, he's still going for New Japan at the moment. So obviously, he's now the squirrely veteran.
Blimey.
Yeah, he's still going. Yeah. But Fujinami, you can just tell how class he is.
But yeah, I'm just looking at them here on the old internet. Oh yeah, Christ.
He's still going.
Still going.
Yeah.
Jesus
even
Christ,
after getting that smash in the face from Rick Steiner, he's still going, 20 odd years later.
Yeah, there you go. Suzuki Gun, 2014 to the present.
Yeah, I told you.
Man.
Were you questioning my research for this podcast?
I wasn't questioning your research for the podcast. I'm just reading it up on myself. I was like, wow, yeah, you're right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we get another top rope belly to belly to finish.
We do, yeah. I say Rick top rope belly to belly for 3.
Yeah,
and it's just
they become the one contenders for their WGP belt, which I don't know if they won it or not. After that,
I'm not sure, but yeah, that'll be for another show.
We'll never know.
Well, we could know if we Google it now, but you just have to put
because we got to move on.
Did the Steiner brothers ever hold the IWGP tag belt? Let's see if there's one around about 1992.
I assume they did. They had a lot of belts, didn't they?
They probably would have. Yeah, I would imagine so. They would have got it at some point. So yeah, that's a pretty solid tag team match to lead into your main event.
Into main event, which
back in
onto the war games, which this will be in the audio tracks when Jesse's talking about the war game rules.
What happens in the war games, you've got the minute intervals or whatever they are, where each team can get an advantage.
Or whatever they are.
I've written exactly the same thing down here. Yeah, I was just about to say exactly the same thing. I've got it written here. The minute interviews or whatever they are.
Whatever they are. It's like, oh great, Jesse's really just not fucked about Jesse. The rules explanations.
I've put here that WCW do a fantastic job hyping this.
Oh, they do.
This is
they get the ring announcer in there and he's like...
We are ready for the feature confrontation of WrestleWar 92, involving 10 of the toughest in World Championship Wrestling. So I say to everyone, let the War Games begin!
Fireworks, guitars for the cells.
Yep, it's like something...
cage, not the cell.
Also, what I love about it, it's portrayed as a proper contest.
Yeah.
It's not portrayed as a kind of performance or anything like that, or there is a genuine look of danger about this match.
Well, is that because the cage is so poorly constructed?
I think that's part of it. It looks like the whole thing's about to collapse.
It's a ramshackle, man.
Yeah, this roof is sagging.
We'll come to that in a bit as well. We'll come to that later on.
The ring apron by this time is like you can see the lines where the canvas has been laid down in strips.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But it doesn't really matter because it's about to be torn to shreds anyway.
Literally torn to shreds.
Yeah, it is bloody incredible.
But my issue with the War Games match is there's 10-man match, 10-man in a cell match, in a cage match even. Why is it submission only? for the finish?
Because it's like an I Quit match. You have to actually physically get someone to give up.
Yeah, it just seems weird. I mean, it's what do they say? Submit or surrender.
Well, yeah,
it's not
one of the
submit
same,
or surrender, which but same thing essentially, is it? But
yeah, it's kind of the same.
I know it just seems like because a submission. I always find like a submission is like a finish.
No,
unless you're doing like an I Quit match, where it's a bit more of a thing. But like it's always a bit more of like it doesn't have like the crescendo of like a 3 count finish.
No,
and this feels like like your big end of feud. You got your Sting Squadron versus the Dangerous Alliance. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's been building this up for years. It's gonna be a big thing, and it ends on a submission. You want that kind of 1, 2, 3 finish.
But I think it's more the point of the fact that as far as story goes, and spoilers, someone in the Dangerous Alliance has to quit.
Yeah.
So you kind of you've lost because one member of your team couldn't take it.
Yeah.
And as a result of it, the other 4 guys have lost as well. But it's you that's quit.
I don't know.
Yeah?
No.
I know the other point that Hal made about this when we were in work discussing this one day is the fact that he was like, well, surely it's a bit weird how, obviously, we're in the realm of wrestling before tap outs were a thing.
Yeah.
Before you could visibly tap the mat and that's you giving up.
Yeah.
So you had to say to the referee, I quit.
Yeah.
Or uncle, or whatever the hell it is. And he says, what if you've got them trapped in the middle of one ring and the referee's on the end? There's no referee in this actual
Yeah, they're all on the outside, aren't they?
They're on the outside. Could they actually hear them? But my response to that is I think Jesse Ventura actually kind of references that at one stage.
Ross, with all this craziness in the ring, how does the referee hear who submits?
I don't know, man. It's going to be hard.
Because Ricky Steamboat's got Rick Rude in a Boston Crab in the middle of one ring, and Ventura does say, why is he doing that in the middle of the ring? The referees won't be able to hear him if he taps. If he quits.
But why should we have to consider that?
Yes, exactly.
Why should we be here thinking they should be saying it to the end of the ring so can see him? What? Why?
Yeah,
why?
Exactly. But I still maintain that this is one of the best laid out gimmick matches.
Lay it out for me. What are the rules for said? I mean, we get 3 pages of text on screen to explain the rules.
Oh, it doesn't need all that. It's just because it's basically right. There's 2 rings. A cage is kind of like a Hell in a Cell is over the top of the 2 cages. It's 2 teams of 5. There's an opening period of 5 minutes where one team member of the team. It's the first team member to submit loses, they lose. That's pretty much it. It's not anything greatly complex. There's no eliminations from ring 1 and ring 2. There's no you got to be thrown over the top rope. You got this, either. That's it. That's it.
Clunky, like you say, coin toss, and everyone's kind of stood by ringside a little bit, awkwardly.
Yeah, but it's like a proper when the Dangerous Alliance come down the ring. You've got Paul Heyman, the genius of the man that he is, who is behaving like a football coach.
Yeah, he's got a spreadsheet out, isn't he?
He's got a spreadsheet out, and he might be talking absolute clap.
He's asking Rick Rude what beer he wants later, I expect.
Yeah, pretty much. And he might have nothing written on the pad whatsoever.
But it seems like they've got a game plan. Right, if we go first, we'll send you in next. If they send it in, then we're going to do him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if they get the advantage, then we do this, and we go over this sector of the ring, and we block off this and block off that, and they're actually discussing proper tactics for it. Yeah. And you've got all the Dangerous Alliance are gathered around, kind of nodding sagely, going, "Yep, yep." Yes, and then Sting Squadron on the other side of the cell, sort of looking at
the crowd.
Yeah, basically, kind of riffing on the crowd, and it looks amazing.
Sting Squadron being. Well, Sting.
Yeah, really. I was probably to go the teams, yeah.
Sting, Barry Windham, the natural Dustin Rhodes, Ricky Dragon Steamboat, and Nikita Koloff,
yeah.
Dangerous Alliance, Stunning Steve Austin, Rick Rude, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and Larry Zbyszko.
Zbyszko, yes.
Those your alliances.
It's just
And
amazing.
Medusa's out with the Dangerous Alliance as well, isn't she?
Medusa is out with the Dangerous Alliance, as she always was. So yeah, Austin starts with Barry Windham.
Yeah.
They absolutely brawl to hell.
Yeah.
The ring looks ropey as fuck.
And they get colour pretty quick, don't they? Is it even before the first person leaves they get some colour in there?
Austin bleeds pretty much within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you've got that wonderful thing where they're right up in the camera in the corner, and Barry Windham is grabbing on Austin's head and starts biting him, and then looks in the camera whilst holding Austin and says something along the lines of, "There's a picture for your mama back home," and then just punches him in the face.
Because that's what you do, isn't it?
Yep, that's what you do. Windham gets a huge DDT, and Austin flying clothesline across both sets of ropes. Because he runs off one end of the cell and then just jumps across both of the
Straight
two
over,
ropes, side that meets the other side of the other ring, and jumps over both of them. Austin face first into the chain of the fence, then grated against it. Austin's busted open. Windham bites Austin right in front of the camera. Postcard from Mama. I'll put down there. Yep, that's the one.
Postcard from Mama.
The Dangerous Alliance win the toss. Of course they should. And then
literally, why would you do it any other way?
Yeah, why would the faces get the advantage? It just wouldn't work. That's kind of the downfall of this. The faces should never get the advantage because it would just be stupid.
I think that's the issue having the coin toss, because it highlights the fact that the faces are never going to win. You know what I mean?
No, the faces are
they're never going to win the coin toss. I mean, not the actual match. But.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Rick Rude comes in. He goes straight to Windham, and then just both unload on him, and then Austin joins in. So Wyndham's absolutely getting double teamed throughout for a good 2 minutes. Then it's the Sting Squadron's turn to send someone in. So Steamboat comes in, who goes absolutely friggin' apeshit on everyone.
And him and Rude, man, don't they just look good wrestling?
Oh, they look superb.
Like the chemistry between the two of them. Because there's some big hot feud between the two of them, isn't there? I think built up to this, and my God, like Rude looks like $1 million. Steamboat's just cracking.
Yep, it's proper amazing. You want to know
they had some talent, didn't they? They had some talent.
Yeah, this is probably your peak cream of the crop WCW in this match alone.
Oh, yeah.
No Vader for some reason. It's Vader that's broken Sting's ribs.
Yeah,
but there's no sign of Vader in this match.
Well,
don't quite know.
In the Alliance, was he? I don't think
it wasn't in the Alliance, but you'd think he maybe would have appeared at some stage. Yeah. Whether he was suspended or he was injured or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, there's a DDT to Rude by Steamboat, and then another DDT to Austin, and then Steamboat actually grabs the top of the cage and swings across it to drop kick Austin in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, that looks pretty awkward.
It does look a bit awkward, but it works.
Because the roof is surprising because the
it's quite low.
The obvious comparison is the Hell in a Cell cage.
Yeah,
which is a good. Even the original one was like 16 foot tall, wasn't it? Like it was taller than the regular cell cage was, or not the regular cage was. Whereas this is literally like from the ring, they can almost jump up and touch it, can't they? It's really low.
Yeah.
So there's like no top rope moves possible at all, except like you say, they kind of grab onto the top of the cage and swing, and almost look like they're going to bring the roof down with them.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like it's going to just crash in on them.
Yeah.
Some of the best bits about this match as well is if you notice how when the count goes down, the camera goes to whatever guy is about to enter, and they look like they're champing at the bit.
Yeah, really
they're ready to kind of go, open the door, because Arn Anderson's in next, and Arn is the fucking man.
Arn Anderson, man, Jesus God, he was good, wasn't he? Like, that kind of brutal stuff he does.
Yep, he comes in DDT to Windham. Absolutely beautiful spine buster, and let's face it,
this is the best looking spine buster, isn't it?
Who does a spine buster better than Arn Anderson? No one.
Just the snap he gets when he spins around is
it's
phenomenal.
A proper twist on it and bang straight down. Rude and Anderson get Steamboat in a double crab, so one guy's got a leg each.
That was good. That does. That's fast. I quite like that.
You can probably ask the question, why are they going for submission moves when there's no submission just yet?
They're softening them up, aren't they? That's the tactics.
Soften them up, yeah.
That's the tactics.
Windham saves Steamboat from this. Rude gets a beautiful pile driver at this stage to Steamboat.
Oh, yeah.
Looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then Rude hauls Steamboat over both sets of ropes into the ring.
I just
poison.
put their Steamboat thrown into the ring, question mark? Yes, mate.
Yes.
Just launched.
Dustin comes in for Sting's squadron to even up the score.
Do you notice at this point he goes to give Austin an atomic drop? And when he does, he smashes Austin's head on the roof of the cage.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
I think he's a little bit overexcited.
Yep. He goes after Arn.
And then, spot of the night, as far as I'm concerned, this one is.
Yeah.
Barry Windham getting Arn Anderson's head between the two rings.
Yes. Try to Boston grab him when Arn Anderson.
I mean, you can hardly see it because it's in between the two ropes and it's like really far back in the background of the shot. But he's literally he's like holding Arn's legs up and Arn's just got his head between
it looks
these
amazing.
two rings.
That's what I mean. This is what they're taking. This environment they're in is dangerous.
Yeah, there's literally
and it's portrayed as bloody dangerous.
Yeah.
And this is like, you genuinely are lost in the moment that they're going to go, someone's going to get proper fucking hurt here.
But like that's going on. I think in the background there's like Steamboat's got a figure four and Rude. And that's the thing, the issue where it comes down to is like the production around it to get the camera angles and stuff just isn't quite there. So you do tend to miss some bits, kind of like say that, the arm bit, that's going to happen in the background. And behind that, Steamboat's got Rick Rude in a figure four leg lock. And it's like too much stuff again.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but I would argue that when you get
chaos,
exactly. When you get multi-man matches these days, that are literally just, it's like when they put on like the 5-way match that they had at Extreme Rules.
Yeah, it becomes people kind of cycling in and out of the ring.
It just becomes like there's only ever a maximum of like 3 people in the ring. There's always 2 or 3 people outside, basically waffled and resting. Because it's like they don't trust you to be able to follow more than 2 people.
I suppose the only thing that's kind of comparable, really, then would be the Royal Rumble, wouldn't it? Because when they fill the ring up, you do get about 4 or 5 kind of things going on at once. But
exactly, but the Rumble kind of goes in moments. The Rumble kind of has the advantage of being able to have a clear out. It's like if there's like more than if there's 8 guys in there, then you'll inevitably get someone like Big Show or Braun Strowman who will come in and eliminate fucking 5 of them.
Kill people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You're building up to moments like that. But anyway.
It's at this stage that someone clearly has gone insane on the booking and tells Medusa to climb on top of the cage.
Yeah, she takes off her shoes, her high heels.
Yeah.
And she climbs it. No, Zabisco comes in for... No, Zabisco comes in first.
And she goes up to the roof.
And then Medusa climbs with the idea, I think, of dropping Paul Heyman's mobile phone in.
Which we all know weighs, is comparable to a steel chair.
Being 992 is like a brick.
Yeah, literally, it's got like a literal brick inside it.
Yeah.
So she's trying to drop the phone up there. So what would be a good idea is to have Sting up there as well.
Yeah.
And were you worried for their safety at this point?
I was a little bit worried for the safety. I was also kind of thinking, did Medusa consider the fact that her dress is quite short?
Yeah.
And this gives a cameraman an excuse to film right up her skirt.
A little bit.
It was a bit...
We didn't think this one through, did we?
It's like...
cameraman, you can't get a good shot of Steamboat Rude in a figure 4, but you can get that shot, can't he?
Oh, yeah, he's right up... Yep,
he's well positioned for that one, isn't he?
He's well positioned down there to obviously catch her just in case she falls.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit awkward for that. Yeah. Really, but never mind.
Sting's in next, which seems strange. You'd have thought Sting would be last. Which I guess that would be too obvious.
That would be a bit obvious, yeah. I think they're working to the fact that they weren't sure if Koloff was going to be part of the team or not.
Yeah, because I guess they've got history as a heel, isn't he?
Yeah. It makes sense him holding back.
Yeah. But we get to see Sting like gorilla press slamming Rude into the ceiling of the cage.
Yeah, he just literally keeps lifting him up and batting him off the cage.
And then he backdrops Austin into the cage, which looks really nasty.
It does.
You just got obviously, you hit the cage and then you just basically have to slide head first down onto the apron. But there's nowhere to go, is there?
Oh, no,
there's literally nowhere to go.
Nowhere else to go. Sting rakes Arn's face at the cage as well, and everyone seems to end up in one ring.
Yeah, and Arn's busted open, Rhodes is busted open. Rude's now got his head in between the rings. His head's down there now.
It's obviously that they've kind of gone down the lines of who in this match is willing to blade and who won't.
Yeah.
Because everyone who is willing to blade and thinks it's not a problem has done.
They already have done by now, haven't they? Yeah. Although, to be fair, like if anyone's going to hardway, like this match is probably that kind of match.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you got all that steel for the cage knocking about.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Eaton comes in. Mm-hmm. And then Zabisco and Rude just think, oh, you know what? We'll just start taking the ring apart. We'll just start dismantling shit.
When Bobby Eaton is about to enter the ring, and please drop this into the audio of the show, Phil. Were you picking up on Heyman's motivational tactics for Bobby?
No, what did he say?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful Bobby in now.
War! War! War!
I missed that.
And it's hilarious.
Just literally, war!
Yep. Just literally going, war! War!
See,
war,
what he wanted was Eaton to call back with games.
Yep.
War! Games! War! Games!
That would have been the smart thing to do.
That would have been the smart thing.
Yes, so Bob Eaton comes in, and Eaton goes straight after Steamboat. And this is the moment that Zbyszko and Rude start to loosen one of the turnbuckles.
Yeah, they're not fooling around, are they? They're like, it's not like, you get the kind of the heel taking off the padding of the turnbuckle to expose, the deadly steel underneath.
No.
This is actually taking the actual turnbuckle out completely.
Unscrewing the actual turnbuckle out of the ring post.
Collapsing the ropes. I think they strangle some of the ropes at one point.
They do, yep, they do. They use it.
Yeah.
And then Koloff comes in, because he's the final guy. He goes right after Arn. He waffles Arn, and then him and Sting have a bit of a face-to-face. Arn attacks, but Koloff pushes Sting out of the way.
Saves him.
And takes the bullet for Sting.
Yeah.
Which is then basically the confirmation that Koloff is fully on Sting's squadron.
I think it's a big pop, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does get a really big pop, actually.
I think a little thing about Nikita Koloff here, because it's a name like you kind of hear talked about, but I don't think, did he ever come to WWF? He certainly wasn't there for the late 80s kind of run, was he? Because the Russians we had with the Bolsheviks in WWF, wasn't they?
Yeah, hold on. I've got his...
come over in the 70s?
Nikita Koloff, hold on.
I'm sure he had some matches with Bruno, San Martino back in the 70s and stuff.
Hold on. It says he retired in 1992, so he retired not long after this.
I'm sure.
Jim Crockett, WCW, he was in until 1989. And then if we go down here, American Wrestling Association, Universal Wrestling Federation, 89 and 90. Returned to WCW, 91 and 92. Wait for
he would
it.
wrestle for the WWF, I guess.
I don't think he ever did. No.
I'm sure he beat someone would be.
Koloff was booked in a program with Rick Rude for the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. Late 1982, found him feuding with another big man, Big Van Vader, who at Halloween Havoc ended Koloff's in-ring career with a stiff clothesline to the head. The blow resulted in a herniated disc in Nikita's neck.
Wow.
In addition to the neck surgery, Koloff suffered a hernia while attempting to slam Vader. Oh, shit.
Jesus Christ.
So that was what? Halloween Havoc 92.
That's not even
not long after this.
Not even going out because he wanted to. It's going out because Vader stiffed him by the side of things.
Pretty much. Vader seems to have properly fucked him over.
Yeah.
Koloff became a born-again Christian in 1993. He now runs a ministry. He runs his own small wrestling promotion, the Universal Wrestling Alliance, UWA, as an outreach of his ministry. He made a few appearances for NWA TNA in 2003 as a masked man called Mr. Wrestling 4, who attacked, because there was 3 wasn't enough, who attacked Dusty Rhodes and managed to... He finally unmasked, but ended up helping Rhodes against the Sports Entertainment Extreme stable.
Yeah.
Oh, some top quality TNA there.
So he was around during the kind of big NWA flair era of the 80s, and by the sound of things, like the early Crockett period.
Yeah, he was, yeah, properly. But wow, so yeah, there you go. I don't think he ever was in the WWF, but he.
Yeah, but it's not a name that really kind of you say we had.
No.
We had the Bolsheviks, didn't we? So
yeah, I kept getting him confused with that.
Boris.
When I heard.
I can't remember the Bolsheviks' names. God, this is where we need Al, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably where we need Al. Oh God,
Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Zukov
was an American name, Jim Harrell. Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that moment, I think for me, doesn't really kind of it's oh great, but I suppose for the crowd who'd followed Koloff for years and Sting as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that's what gives you the kind of really big pop.
Because this was the story. This is kind of one of the many stories going into this match. And was Koloff going to basically turn on everyone? Yeah, but he didn't. And that's it. Cracking.
He's got people up as the ring is, dismantled around him.
As the ring is now being dismantled around him, yeah.
I don't know why. I've written down here as well that Koloff reminds me of Mojo Rawley.
I can see where you're getting that.
I think after he helps Sting, he just he gets really excited and he's hyping himself up, one of the hype bros.
Yeah. I can see what you mean with that, yeah.
And it's at this point where I think Jesse says, "How do refs here who submits?"
Yeah, I think that's it.
Which,
yeah, that's what I mean.
Fair play, Jesse. It's a little bit late to bring up these kind of points.
Yeah, but it's
you should have brought this up backstage before the match was being booked. You know what I'm saying? Not on air while the match is going on.
No,
but we'll move on.
There's a Scorpion Deathlock to Anderson, but Eaton saves. Dustin locks Zbyszko in a figure 4. There's loads of submission moves going on now.
Scorpion Deathlock on Double A.
Yep. Koloff smacks the bloody mess of Austin into the turnbuckle.
He's messed up here, isn't he?
He is completely messed up.
It's like WrestleMania 13 level of blood, I think, at this stage for him.
It is proper gushing.
Yeah.
Zbyszko has now fully loosened the turnbuckle screw and holds it in his hand like a kind of baseball bat, ready to use it.
I think at one point they say Bob Eaton's trying to repair the ring, then he just gets smacked with it.
Yeah. Eaton then holds Sting in like a full Nelson. The idea is obviously that Zbyszko's going to waffle Sting with this kind of metal end of the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Zbyszko swings, but Sting ducks and he ends up battering Eaton's shoulder. Sting then just batters Zbyszko to get rid of him and then locks Eaton in an armbar. And that's the armbar on the knackered shoulder having been whacked with a large piece of metal. That means that Eaton quits. So Sting's squadron have won, but it's not.
They've won with an armbar. They've won with an armbar.
You can say that, you know.
I will say that.
What a crap move to finish with. But I could understand your point if it was just an armbar out of nowhere. But it is an armbar out of nowhere. Armbar out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Armbar.
It's Eaton's. It's on the shoulder, which
it makes sense to the finish and all that.
Yeah.
Kind of flows, right? But
and it means that Zbyszko is being the one that's when you look everyone kind of surrounds him.
The bloody messes that are in the ring.
And
the thing like Eaton submits, and then the rest got to go tap on everybody's shoulder. Go, all right, we're finished, boys.
Yeah, you stop.
Whoa! And everyone's like, what? Huh? You what?
So
I think that would have worked better. You get them all in, elimination out. That would have worked better. Elimination to get them out of the ring.
Would have gone on a lot longer though. Would you have had them all in at the start?
Maybe shorten the time for them to come in. 2 minutes rather than 2 minutes to begin in, minute after that.
A minute after that.
Yeah, maybe 3 beginning, 2 after that, and then elimination out.
That's elimination.
I think that builds it because imagine Sting there versus 3 members of the Dangerous Alliance. What's Sting gonna do?
I suppose that would work. Would you still have it at submission only?
No, pin.
No, pinfall as well.
Yeah.
My problem with that though is that it's so easy to break up a pinfall.
Yeah.
If you've got 10 guys in there, and you try and pin someone.
It's tricky, but I think it doesn't. I think submission doesn't have to be a big finish. And then but then it's like that thing again. Where I think last time when Sting won, he's kind of went, "Yeah, I won," and he walks out. Like the faces, already they're out the ring before the heels are, aren't they?
But I think there's more of a story with the heels because it's the Dangerous Alliance possibly breaking up.
Yeah, because all of them go Zbyszko on, they're all turning on him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So there's all turn on Zbyszko because it's his idea to get the
to spend 5 minutes taking the ring apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the thing out.
Yeah. So that's it. But I'd still really love this main event.
Yeah, it's a great main event.
It's a cracking main event. It's fantastic. Serves its purpose well in the story.
Yeah.
It does really, really well as a laid out match. And it's presented like a properly dangerous wrestling match. It's not, you don't look at this kind of thinking, oh, what a fantastic performance it's been. Oh, it's good.
Because, people are literally covered in blood.
Yeah. People are busted open and hanging by shreds, and the ring is completely destroyed by the end of it. So, this battleground they've been in is torn apart.
But we don't end on the final shot of the battleground. We go to Bert and Ernie for a final word.
We do go to Statler and Waldorf, yes.
And then we're back over to Jesse and Ross for another final word?
Yes, for just final words, yeah. They don't just...
Why are we still here?
I don't know, yeah. There's a lot of kind of hanging around at the end of this, isn't there? And it's kind of
Jesse teaches beat thing again by saying bikini battle. Facepalm.
Yeah, but he's just, it's just breasts. Yeah. That's all it is.
And then end credits to finish.
And I always forget the WCW pay-per-views at the end credits.
It's so annoying, isn't it?
It's just like on WF ones, it's just literally when it goes, copyright symbol at the bottom of the screen.
Bang, done.
Bang, done. Good night. Whereas in WCW, it was like, hey, it's a proper production. Here's
That's why you see, like, is it executive producer Virgil Runnels?
Yep.
They'll stick that in there.
And you're like, wait, fantastic.
Like, this does work, though, as like the kind of full stop to the Dangerous Alliance, because the Dangerous Alliance kind of effectively breaks up after this, isn't it? It's like that thing kind of...
I don't think they've got long after this.
But it's like, Bischoff takes over in 94. End of 93, Heyman goes to ECW. So is this like the end of like this kind of era?
Yeah, it's kind of only got another sort of year to...
Yeah, a year like this, and then it's like,
really.
Hogan comes in, when Hogan comes in 94 when he comes in?
94 Hogan comes in.
Yeah, so Bischoff takes over, Heyman goes to ECW. Yeah, like, this is like, I think, like, even though they say that this kind of drags on for a little bit, typical WCW style, I suppose. This is like the capstone for that era, like that era we talked about again last week, that kind of weird nostalgia for that Dangerous Alliance era.
Yeah.
Where it goes back to the start of the 90s into this match.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where, like, I think what we said, they lost Flair, but the rest of the roster is still really good.
Yeah, there's still some lot of hard workers going on this. Like,
yeah, and this I think as a comparison to Lethal Lottery, it's not like saying it's night and day, but like it shows when there's good booking. And the kind of people get out of the way of the matches a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it shows that they can have like a really good pay-per-view, as opposed to a pile of shite.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was some. I think at this kind of stage of the early 90s, WCW were very much still a product of the regional system.
Yeah.
And we still had guys who came up in that regional system and could still work a match, and the sort of fundamentals of a wrestling show were very much there.
Yeah.
Whereas the WF were much more about the pizzazz and the glamour of everything,
They kind of took their eye off the wrestling side thing. They were just focused on white characters.
Yeah, they were characters. Hence, you had, in WWF, you had like the Ultimate Warrior, who wasn't that great a wrestler.
Yeah.
But was a fantastic character, and that's why we all remember him as he was. Whereas, maybe in WCW, if he'd have gone to WCW, would he have been as effective? Probably not.
I don't think they would have been able to get the marketing machine behind him to...
Exactly. Obviously, he did eventually turn up in WCW in 98.
We all did.
Terrible. Yeah, well, exactly.
We've all been members of NWO at some point in our lives.
Yeah, well, and it was... for that terrible feud with Hogan. But I think, you've got... It's that slight difference in styles. And sometimes you get some very top quality matches at this kind of era of WCW.
Yeah.
This is probably before WCW started chasing Hogan in 94 and...
Started chasing that thing, yeah.
Just started getting absolutely...
Well, yeah, you go back a couple of years, you've got, the Flair Steamboat matches and those kind of things going on. Yeah. So... They've always been able to have the kind of really good matches. They've just not been able to kind of be consistent across the whole card, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously, the main issue is where's this go on the old?
Where's this go in the? Oh, I don't know, really. I forget what the league table looks like these days.
Hold on.
But before we do anything, by the way, I do have a prepared statement from Ewan, who can't be.
Good Lord.
Tonight. It's come through on my on the Trello board here, which Kev here on Twitter wants Ewan to start the statement with Trello, is this thing on?
That's why he'll never be a guest in this podcast.
Exactly. Christ, with humour like that, good God. Anyway, Ewan says. Apologies to the millions of fans that tune in for me.
Dozens.
My internet at the moment is like WWE booking, broken.
Oofed.
Here's a few brief words about the pay-per-view. I love Johnny B. Bad. I mean, the man has the bad blaster, for crying out loud. What an amazingly
more over than the wrestler, yeah?
Yeah. What an amazingly booked main event. War Games is brutal, bloody, and made sense. That has capital letters and about 17 exclamation marks at the end. Shocking in 2017, this is a foreign concept. New Japan, baby. Cameron, you have found a WCW show that didn't give me cancer by the end. Well done, sir. End of statement.
Wow. So, I've just sent Cameron the link to the pay-per-view leaderboard.
Oh, Christ. Hold on. I need to get on here. I can't. Where's the... Oh, hold on. Right. There we go. Right. I should really save this on somewhere, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I've kind of landed...
What have we got?
There's like Royal Rumble 89 and WrestleMania 5, and I'm thinking it's better than those.
Right. So what's number... Oh, you've even got like links to the actual audio.
Yeah, I'm not messing around with that anymore, pal.
Man, you're so good. Right, it's nowhere near SummerSlam 2002.
Where's SummerSlam 2002?
It's not quite... King of the Ring 93 is at 6. I like that pay-per-view. That's really good.
SummerSlam 93. That was the Luger one, wasn't it? I'm thinking it's above SummerSlam 93.
I'm thinking it's above SummerSlam 93 as well. I'm thinking it's probably a little bit better than Survivor Series 90.
Invasion 2001? Is it better than that?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Those last 3 matches just bump it up completely for me. I would probably stick it. I probably enjoyed it more than ECW's Living Dangerously in 1999. It's not as good as King of the Ring 93 though. I'd stick it in between King of the Ring 93 and ECW Living Dangerously 99.
It's now the 7th best pay-per-view of all time.
It's the 7th best pay-per-view of all time.
It's now the highest WCW pay-per-view on the list.
Yep,
by some margin.
Some fucking margin.
It's not the highest non-WWE pay-per-view because that's the New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 8 in Tokyo Dome. Wrestle Kingdom 8 in Tokyo Dome.
Tokyo Dome.
Love that, man. Yeah. 7th best pay-per-view of all time. Who would have thunk it? War Games.
Would have thunk that War Games purely because that match is amazing.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Even with Super Invader, it's still that good.
Even with Hercules being the Super Invader, it's still good.
He does his best to drag it down as best he can, but can't quite drag it down enough.
Mm-hmm. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, it's at number 7, and there's little Al will probably have a good old moan about that. He's not here.
Yes, he will. If we put it above Royal Rumble at 89, he's going to go be furious.
I feel fucking fly off that.
Rage.
He'll be absolutely enraged. But there you go. But no, it's the last 3 matches purely make it. It's fairly consistent up until that point. There's nothing on that pay-per-view that you would count as absolutely god awful.
Super Invader.
Well, that's probably the worst match of the night.
That's the low point.
To be fair. And even then, it doesn't stick around too long to stink the place. It's okay. No, I like it. Hence, I picked it.
Stop talking.
Okay.
All right, next time, we're on to a round table.
We are.
The best of the best.
We are.
What is it the best of the best of, though? What are the best of the best thing we're looking for? Because we've done best of the best Intercontinental Championship matches.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the best ever tag team of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Still not happy with that. So what's the best thing we're going to decide upon this time for this next show? The best, the greatest. What?
Were we not going to hark slightly back to our previous podcasting incarnations?
What, do a cookery one or something? I'm not sure what you're talking.
Were we not going to do a podcast based on the noble art of the wrestling video game?
This is almost topical, being that today is the very release day of the new Fire Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, well, it's released in
Steam.
Early access on Steam.
It still counts. God, that's how it works these days.
It's not quite... I know what you mean. Yeah. But yeah, the kind of early access version of Fire Pro Wrestling World is on Steam as of today. So yeah.
We're going to talk about what we think is the greatest wrestling video game of all time.
I think we're going to bring the greatest wrestling video games into...
We're going to settle it forever.
We are going to settle it forever, yeah.
Yeah. My guess as to what will happen is that Ewan will bring a Japanese game of some kind.
Maybe.
Al will bring the arcade version of WrestleFest.
No, Al's already told me what he's picked.
I'll bring something random.
No, Al's gonna pick. What do you think Al's gonna pick?
Oh, just some WWE WrestleFest.
No,
That's
WrestleFest.
That's the WWE one, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not. Think what's genuinely regarded as being the greatest wrestling game of all time.
I'm trying to think of WWE video games in the early 90s.
It wouldn't be early 90s. It's around about 2000-ish.
Oh, like SmackDown Here Comes the Pain or something, won't it? Like something like that.
No, N64.
Oh, No Mercy?
Yes.
But we don't know that for definite, do we?
We don't know that for definite, but I'm betting that's what he brings.
No, he's going to bring Royal Rumble for the SNES. That's what he's going to bring. Guaranteed.
Oh, that with the constant sound effect of that one.
I'm determined because there was an arcade WWF wrestling game that was called WrestleFest or something. I'm sure it was called WrestleFest.
Yeah. WrestleFest is a game that exists, yes.
Yeah, that's what he's going to bring that because that's from the 90s and it's got Hulk Hogan in it.
But it doesn't have the memories that No Mercy has for him.
Memories. Well, I was going to say, whatever you bring is going to be winning because you're a political bastard.
What? What are you trying to suggest?
You'll be colluding with Alan to get what you want to win.
Are you trying to suggest that I will collude with Alan?
You did last time.
But
that's how you did it with the bloody Bushwhackers as the greatest tag team of all time.
Yes, because they genuinely are.
Genuinely not.
They are. We've decided it now.
Right, the point is, if you want to listen to a shambolic, political, disgusting, horrible, spit in the face of democracy, listen to the next show, where you'll get Cameron decides what he wants to win, and he'll do whatever he has to do to get it to win.
No one has ever before in their lives described me as a spit against democracy.
Oh,
Phil, part of me's quite proud.
I remember bloody having my match, which was the best Intercontinental match, chucked to the dogs because you thought you were right.
Because it wasn't the best Intercontinental title match.
Piper Hart was the best one.
No, it wasn't at all.
Anyways, if you want to hear more of this exciting debate,
yes,
which will be the three of them ganging up and voting for something, and me go, "What? We can't have that."
Yeah, before we realise that Def Jam Vendetta becomes the greatest wrestling game of all time.
Def Jam Vendetta. Oh God.
Yeah, nothing to do with any proper wrestlers. We just want to see Method Man versus Exhibit.
That's the greatest match of all time, clearly.
It is, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, listen for that, and that'd be awesome.
We're going to do wrestling video games, harking back to our previous podcasting careers.
Yeah.
About when we used to podcast about video games. Remember those quality video games? Remember those quality days when we used to do that? That was amazing.
Yeah, they were halcyon days.
Innocent days of 2012.
Yes, before Gamergate and video games became the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, before it was all just a blight.
Yes.
And a spit against democracy.
Spit against democracy. I have that in the t-shirt as well. Write that one down.
Yeah, just spit against that. Write that one down. Yeah.
Against democracy. That'll be the other pay-per-view.
It'll be grand.
The first pay-per-view tidal wave of idiocy. Spit against democracy. Those are the pay-per-view.
Tidal wave of idiocy. I love it.
That's the Dead Wrestler pay-per-view name, isn't it? Tidal wave of idiocy.
Tidal wave of idiocy. Yes, pretty much.
Boss Man versus Perfect for the Intercontinental Belt main event. There you go.
Yep, that's the main event. That's the main event. Did we not have?
I'd love that. That'd be the best.
Not British Bulldog versus Earthquake as well.
Why not? Why not?
That would be amazing as well. Tidal wave of idiocy.
I need the logo for that.
Oh,
we stream it live on Twitch.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Anyway, listen to that when we record it.
Yeah, we're going to probably try and do some. I don't know when the PS4 version of.
I imagine it'll be out
as well.
When the Steam one launches properly. Maybe I don't know.
Should be, but we're going to try and do some.
Tidal Wave Idiocy will be on there, surely.
Yeah. We need to do Tidal Wave Idiocy as a Fire Pro pay-per-view. That'll be just amazing.
Yeah, we can commentate on it. Like, set it all good automatically and just commentate on it.
Yep, exactly. That'll just be fucking hilarious. But anyway,
so there's that. So any feedback on what you think is the best video game
Yeah, just let us know. And drop us a line.
Bit of a tippy tap on Facebook if you wanted to. Bit of tippy tap on Twitter.
Yep. At the Conquistabores.
At Conquistabores.
At
Conquistabores. No, just at Conquistabores.
There's no the. Just at Conquistabores.
We're consistent with the branding. That's what it is.
Exactly. It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I think that's us done.
Yeah, I need to wrap up quick when my wife comes home and gets annoyed with me podcasting.
Oh God, yeah. Don't annoy the wife.
Yeah, I read my son. Well, I don't think he'll be on the podcast, but he interrupted us at some point. So,
well, it'll be all right. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Yeah. So, we'll have more people next time because it'll be a 4-way, as it were.
All going well. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Touch wood.
Yeah.
I think now that Al's had his hissy fit about us doing back-to-back WCW.
Yeah, well, we're getting out of WCW now. I'd like to think whoever picks the next pay-per-view will, after the next roundtable, obviously.
It's my pick after that.
Is it your pick after that?
Yeah, I don't think we will.
No, are we removing ourselves from this era?
I don't.
We have been pretty much stuck in like 91, 92.
We're very much out of that era, but I'm not quite sure it'll be appreciated where we're going. But we'll find out at the end of next week's show, next month's show.
Next month, next week, whenever.
Whenever, next show, you'll find out what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bye, Cameron.
Bye, Phil.
Bye, Ewan.
Bye.
Bye, Alan.
Bye.
That's really good impressions of them, man. Are you sure they even exist as people? You just don't do the voices on the podcast?
Yeah, that's all I do, actually. They don't exist. It's just me. It's just my
imagination.
It's just my multiple personality syndrome.
Like film Split, but with Geordie Allen instead.
Yeah, pretty much. Wow. Yeah, it's like Fight Club.
That sounds horrific.
Yeah, I know. Gentlemen, the Conquistabores have left the building.
And now Flying Bryant has the Z-Man grounded.
Wasn't Ron Simmons a nose tackle?
Yes, he was.
Well, there's your more traditional nose tackle, in my opinion.